But what are we doing, guys? How can we only watch 3 seconds of a video? I bet you're bored now. I bet you're bored now, and I don't care. We're talking about what I want to because it is yapping with Mags, okay? Together. We yap together, do you understand?
Welcome back to Yappin with Mags.
Ooh, nobody knows it, nobody knows. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Yapping with Mags. I'm making a cappuccino, an iced cappuccino right in front of you, in case you can hear it. Yeah. Sorry, that was explicit. But I started making cappuccinos from home because it's too expensive to go out every day. So here we are, doing a little mixology. I got my headphones. I've got my iced coffee. And most importantly, I've got my silly little hats, my hat of silly little hats. So we're going to be wearing one for the podcast because that's actually part of the law on Yappin' with Mags, so we have one of these. Oh, okay, well, this hurts. These always fucking hurt to put on. They never feel good. Oh, I forgot my coaster. So, before I started this, I was looking at my TikTok and how we're performing. Oh, that's better. And, you bitches and your retention rate. I can't. I'm not sure what's happening there. But there is the decline. I can see in the statistics how quickly somebody is watching my video, how long someone's watching my video. It sinks after 2 seconds. That means that like 50% of you guys are swiping by then. Those are not good stats. Okay, but that's where we are. And honestly, I blame Bill Gates. Because we are all we can't watch a video for more than 5 seconds. Hey, me included. So hopefully I can keep your guys' attention because the crow brain, the rat brain that we all have as one whole unit, we have one crow brain that we're all sharing, we're all splitting it. Not to talk about Pierre's kind in front of us, like he's like birds are bad. Pierre's my parrot that I have over here. But what are we doing, guys? How can we only watch 3 seconds of a video? I bet you're bored now. I bet you're bored now, and I don't care. We're talking about what I want to because it is yapping with Mags, okay? Together. We yap together, do you understand? By the way, if you haven't noticed, because my hair is pushed back by these headphones and my headband that I just took off, but I got bangs. I got bangs, and that's the thing that I don't understand about myself is I get them and I hate them and I grow them out and then I get them and I hate them and I grow them out and it's just this vicious cycle and it's like go to therapy, you know. But I did get bangs. I got them professionally done. You wouldn't be able to tell. And they're already greasy. We're on day 1. I got them done yesterday. Day 1. And my bangs are already greasy, sticking to my forehead, plastered there. There's more oily hair. There's more oil on my head than hair, if that makes sense to you. So that's what we're dealing with. And so I'm just keeping them out of frame. I'm saving you guys from having to look at that. So, and you know what? The thing is that when I went to the hairdresser, I'm not used to being told no, like not at all, right? And when I was at the hair salon, I was like, I want my hair blonde. I want to look like Barbie, the tits, the nose, the face, the everything, but I also want the hair. Okay, and they said, we don't do any of the face stuff that you're looking for or the body procedures. I said, that's fine, just do the hair then. She also said no to this. And in the US, they do not give a fuck. You go in there and you're like, I want my hair blonde. They say, how quickly do you need this done? I said, well, I got to get on the multi-lane, 4-lane highway in about 20 minutes. So if you could do it by that, sure, no problem, ma'am. And that's why we give 20% tips to our hairdressers in the US. But here, she told me this is going to be a multi-session unless you want your hair to come out because you have finer, thinner hair. Oh, that was a nice way of putting that. And it's just not going to do it with the bleach. And in the US, they would have said, let me go to the janitor's closet. I think we got a bucket of bleach in the back. They would have went to work. But here they were like, we care about your hair, we care about the health of your hair, and you're gonna have blonde hair in about 2 or 3 sessions. Or I'm being scammed and ripped off. I'm not entirely sure. Outside of that, what's new with me? I'm doing a sober month. And I don't say this in a way where like I have a problem, because I don't. I don't have a problem. No, but I really don't. It's just that we had visitors coming to Heidelberg, because I live in Heidelberg, Germany. We had visitors coming every week for a month and a half. Finally, tourist season has come to an end in the McLeod Dieterer house. So we were drinking so much, because for them it was vacation, and for us it was one continuously long month and a half of beer, which I loved, and that was fun. I can't lie, that was fun. It was a good excuse to have a beer with every meal. But I don't like how it made me feel. I feel like within a month I put on weight. I feel like my skin got worse, my face got puffier, definitely more dehydrated. And I just think it made me sluggish and slow. And also there's a problem in my family with alcoholism, and that kind of scares me a little bit. So I feel like I want to start this where like once a year I do a sober month, just on my own time whenever I think it's right. And I already went to a rave sober. Hey, not the same experience. Hey, so that actually is boring. It's not. I thought it was interesting to try to dance, sober. And I'm pretty comfortable in my body, so it was fine. It was still really fun, and I liked the music, so that was fine. But it is definitely a different experience when you're drunk and you're just having the most random conversations with the most random strangers. And instead, I was kind of just felt a little bit like, and when it's different when everyone's, fine, but when you're the only one that's sober around a bunch of drunk people and they want to have the silly conversations and you are just like, oh yeah, I'm drinking still water. It's harder to connect, it's harder to bond. And I feel for the people that are sober like their whole life, like they made a decision to not drink, maybe they've never done it, whatever. That's awesome for them, because I don't think I could do that. I think that like when I go out to an event and everybody else is drinking, it is so uncomfortable, to be honest, because everybody's at this like childish level or this like free level that you can accomplish and achieve sober, but it's definitely harder to get there, I think.
Hello, my fellow yappers. Make sure to follow the socials on TikTok and Instagram at Yappin with Mags. That's at YAPPIN with WITH Mags, MAGS, on TikTok and Instagram. And then I have my main page, actually, which is at German with Maggie. And you can follow me there as well. So thanks again for listening. Let's get back to yapping.
So I got a weighted vest. And don't any of you come for me, because I know that the weighted vest is a trend, okay? I know it's the new Pilates and it's a version of the running and yada, yada, yada. I don't care. Yes, I do, okay? I feel like an asshole in the streets with my weighted vest, because I know everyone's looking at me going, doesn't she know those are for 40-year-old moms? I don't want to run. So if I can make walking a little bit more difficult on myself and add a little extra weight, I'll do it. But don't act like you're better than me because you didn't fall for it, okay? And you didn't fall for the weighted vest trend, just because I did. It is heavy. It's honestly manageable, though. I just think you have to, the thing is if you don't want it on your spine, like you have to brace your core, you have to keep your back straight, you have to feel like you are in a literal back brace in order to not hurt yourself. Do you understand? Oh, I didn't put the chocolate in here. And that's the hard part, I think, is that I am a sloucher. I love a good slouch. I'll slouch around the house. I'll slouch in public. I'll sink into the hip. I'll sink into my hip. I'll concave forward, like I'm doing some sort of interpretive modern dance. But really, that's just how I stand. That's just my posture. And I will do all of this. And so that, with added weight onto your chest, onto your spine, onto your shoulders, is not a good combo. That's all I'm going to say. So you want to make sure you're doing everything right? But like I said, don't act like you're better than me. And maybe you are. But I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying my walks recently. I went on one this morning. And it's just like, if I get my lazy ass out of bed and I don't go on Instagram and I don't go on TikTok first thing in the morning, I just get up and I go outside, I walk outside, I get dressed, I walk outside before I even have the chance to second guess it. It ends up being like a highlight, if not my favorite part of my day is my walk. Like, I'm so privileged that I get to just like walk outside. There's a hassle for me to walk by, like, what do you mean? Why does my brain still want me to go on TikTok to look at horrible news and brain dead videos where I will be drooling onto my pillowcase by the end of an hour of watching them? Why does my brain want me to do that instead of going outside and looking at the river and the castle and all the beautiful shops around me and the cafes and grab a coffee and listen to a podcast by myself? Like, what am I doing? So I started doing that more, and you also just pick up on really cool, interesting stuff. For example, today I didn't realize how much ape ass is near the castle. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is this statue of this monkey in Heidelberg, and I think it's like it brings you luck or something. What does the monkey statue in Heidelberg do? It's a bronze statue that's touched for good luck, with specific actions bringing specific fortunes. Touching the mirror brings wealth, rubbing the outstretched fingers guarantees to return to Heidelberg, and touching the small bronze mice promises fertility. I don't know anything about there being a mouse there. Visitors also put their heads into the monkey's hollow head for a humorous photo opportunity, so that means nothing. But you are supposed to, what I know is that you're supposed to touch the coin, or I guess it's a mirror, I didn't know that, but it's a mirror, and you will come back to Heidelberg. And the front of it is quite cute, and you can't put your head in his hollow head. It's a little morbid. But I was walking past that, and I got a new view of this monkey for the first time. The Heidelberg, Germany monkey. The ape, the Affe. Its asshole is so huge. I never. If I didn't go on that walk, I would have never seen how big that monkey's asshole is. Do you understand? It is so obnoxiously big. And I don't think that was necessary by design. I don't even think a real monkey's asshole is that big. But this one was in your face if you're walking from behind it, which I rarely, if ever, have done that. And when I saw that monkey, I just thought, this is what my walks are for, when looking into the eye of the monkey asshole. I thought, and what happens if I rub that? And what good fortune will I get from that? And pardon my French, but that asshole was ginormous. You have to look up a backside photo. I don't even know if they'll have one on Google Images because it's probably blurred for being monkey pornography. So I saw that on my walk. Anything new? What else is new? Comments. I don't want to say the comments are getting to me, but as my account's growing and getting bigger, and I do read the comments, and we just hit past 30,000. We're at like 32,000 now on my German language page. And if you want, at the end of this, my thing is we're going to do a German word of the day. We'll get there towards the end. But, dealing with the comments there, it can be difficult. Like, there was someone said that I look like, or I sound, when I speak German, I sound like Stitch. And the thing is that they're not wrong. And they're not wrong, because sometimes it's hard for me to pronounce the German words, and I try my best to do that in the back, and it comes out like, and I sound like Stitch, and I was kind of impressed by that impression right there on accident. I just did. But you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be like, ich habe, and it ends up being like, aber. So they're not exactly wrong, but it makes me not want to talk. I'm just kidding, it's fine. I will never not yap, and that includes in both languages, both in German and English. But it does make me think, like, if I sound like Stitch, like I'm going in public and I'm ordering coffee as Stitch, and I'm, going to a fancy restaurant as Stitch, and I'm going to raves talking to people as Stitch, and I'm going on walks talking to people as Stitch. And I'm talking to myself in this podcast, and if this was in German, I would sound like Stitch, And so that's why we're doing this one in English. But I'm trying to not let it get to me, because there's also an overwhelming majority of positive comments. Like, people are so nice on the internet. Unpopular opinion, but people can be nice on the internet. And I think, Instagram's a little different vibe. Like, there will be somebody who obviously has something different about how they look, and the comment section will be brutal. And they will never, I'm surprised they ever post a video after that, You have to have really thick skin to be on the internet. And my skin is starting to get thicker, but I can't lie when I say I read those comments, and I just sometimes think, oh, I'm never speaking again. And I said that. Simon and I were laying in bed, and I read that Stitch comment, and I thought, oh, I'm never speaking again, actually, is the thing. I'm never speaking German. And he says I don't sound like Stitch, so that's reassuring. But there was 40-something likes on that one particular comment, and it's just going up. So there's at least 40-something people that think I sound like Stitch. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, wipe it out of my brain. Like, take this out. Who cares? Who gives a f***? I'm shaking it out. I don't care. I do, but I'm getting better. I'm learning. It's a learning experience to not care about comments, not care what people think. I think everyone cares what each other think, and if you don't, like, if you have that innately, like, naturally, you don't care what people think, you might be a psychopath and you might be a narcissist. But for the people that genuinely have gotten to a point where they don't care what people think, that came from practice. That came from still seeing those comments and saying, this isn't me though. I know me. I know I sound good. I know I look good. I know I have a good heart. Whatever it is that they're attacking, you need to be able to completely remove yourself from those comments. And that's something I'm working on. And like I said, it'll get better. And that's the same with the positive ones too, though. Like, I need to not care about the positive ones either. When people go, oh my God, I thought she was German. There's people that are like, oh, I thought she was native German. And then there's people that say, I sound like a Stitch. And I feel like, you should work on how you're pronouncing the words. I have been, actually learning German, like sitting down, opening a textbook and trying to learn for like a year, bro. Give me a break, okay? Give me on a pause. I don't really know if you can translate that directly. But, it's fine. I just needed to I can't not look at the comments, to be honest. I like interacting. I like having a community. I like being able to, like have conversations with people. And I think that's very essential to keeping your content alive. And I appreciate people commenting, so I want them to know that I care. But, yeah, I mean, you do have to just, you can read the comments, but I think you got to learn to not give a fuck. Camera did turn off again, so I'm just going to repeat my comment, which was that you have to get used to seeing the comment section and reading a comment that's like, I'm going to find you when you're on your walk, and when you have that weighted vest on, I'm going to rip it off of you, and I'm going to throw it into the Neckar River. And you have to look at that and go, okay. And I'm not there yet. And I'm hoping to get there, but at the moment, I'm just not there yet. I when I see a comment like that, I go, and I recover. It's a quick recovery, but I have a reaction. I have a visceral reaction, But I think it's fine. Speaking of Lilo and Stitch, I was watching Lilo and Stitch yesterday with my partner, with my boyfriend, and I cried, okay, within probably the minute they said Ohana means family. And at first, I didn't really understand why I was crying. I was just like, yeah, family, important. And then I realized, he paused it. Simon paused it, the video, and was like, what's happening? Are you okay? No, I'm not. Thank you, sir. No, I'm not okay, and to be honest, it was because I realized I had forgotten my dead dad's birthday. And that is, so crazy to me. I did not think I would ever forget his birthday, like a monumental moment like that. And this is like his second birthday not being here. Like it's been 2 years now. And the first birthday, we went on a hike. We had a candle and a cake for him. We lit it. We listened to his music out, just overlooking the sunset. Like I think we honored him in a really beautiful way. And I was, it was still during tourist season. So like my mom was literally on her way over to visit. And she was taking off in the plane, and I was getting the whole house together while on his birthday on October 26th. No, I do know my dad's birthday though. But just on his way over, and on her way over, and that shocked me. The thing is also I didn't even think about it until she told me, like, hey, his birthday was literally just came up, and I was flying actually, October 27th. Not October. Oh my God, August 27th is his birthday. I'm really bad with birthdays, living or deceased. It's not my thing. I put in my calendar, I need to set 5 alarms. But because it was my dad, that like really hit me of like, oh my God, Ohana means family. Well, it's family. And I forgot my dad's birthday. And so I really need to celebrate it. And I think that's like a fear, is that he's going to be forgotten. And no one in the group chat in our family, we have a family group chat, it usually pops off pretty often, and nobody texted about it. I don't think, no one said happy birthday, Dad. No one talked about it. Everyone, I think, forgot it to some degree. Because we all have shit going on, It's not out of malice. It's not because we don't care, but it's just like you, over time, you kind of get used to it. It's a new normal, I guess. But that was my biggest fear when he first died, is like, we're the only ones keeping on any part of his spirit, And if we forget his birthday, then like we're forgetting where he started. And so I always want to celebrate, like, or at least acknowledge his death date and his birthday. I think those are both 2 very important days. So we're going to do a late celebration for you, Dad. We're going to get this record player of mine fixed, which I broke on the bringing it over to Germany. Had in my carry-on bag. I probably just yoinked it onto the plane, and it's something in there broke electronically. But we're going to celebrate him, and I think it's going to be really nice. I don't think a lot of like my friends or people my age, a lot of them haven't experienced the death of a parent. So it's kind of weird. Like, just you do feel kind of alone in it, and the people that you want to turn to can't fully understand it by no means, other than just they haven't experienced it, which good. I'm glad. So then you turn to your siblings, but when everyone's so busy, like, you forget these things, and I don't want to ever forget him. And so we're going to celebrate him soon. And I need to press him into a record. I need to press my dead dad into a record. He would have found that so cool. This man had thousands of records. He had such a huge collection. And when he first died, we were like, let's get him pressed into a record, because you can get someone's ashes pressed into a record. I thought that was such an awesome idea. We didn't get around to it. It's also very expensive. It was a good like $2,000, but split between a few people, like we could make it work. Right now, he's just in a makeup box for me. That's how I got him over the border to Germany, because I did hear technically you're not allowed to just have like ashes in the home. It still has to be buried as if it were a body, because it is a body. So I did bring him in an e.l.f. Powdered concealer, like powdered setting powder box, makeup container. And he's still in there, and he doesn't really look like setting powder, but it's close enough that they didn't care. So I think he needs somewhere better to go. He said he doesn't care where we put him, okay? We could have, he said we could have thrown him in the trash, which of course we weren't going to do. We scattered him also. There's so much of him. That's the other thing I didn't realize about ashes, is that there's like a lot of them. Like there's a lot of ashes. When you get it back, it's this huge bucket. And so there's a lot to spare. So some is in an e.l.f. packet, an e.l.f. container, the makeup brand. Some is with my mom. I don't think my siblings have it. Oh, he's in a painting as well. We had an artist who like used him in the paint. That's pretty cool. So he's on a couple of paintings. And he's spread all through Scotland and Germany, California, at our first home, Pennsylvania. I want to say Mexico, France. He's traveled the world. And I need to remember to bring him with me to travel again, because I also forgot to bring him to Switzerland and Budapest, and these are things I forget because as time moves on, you just learn to live without the person and you stop commemorating as much as you should. And it's such a guilt that I think the people of the family experience. So anyway, what else? Oh, I just finished the book, The Vegetarian. That was a really good book. I did not know it was going to be as erotic as it was. There were parts, the second middle area was basically porn, but it is such a good book. And it's basically about this woman who is in this abusive relationship. She's living in a very confined society where she can't really have any agency or control over anything in her life. She just has to be a good, quiet wife. And her way of sort of going against this conformity, going against these standards and these expectations of being quiet and not spoken unless spoken to, and et cetera, is by going vegetarian within the household. And this is her small protest. It slowly sort of mixes into, from a feminist novel, into also like mental health issues and the stigma around them, and how much agency does a person have over controlling their life when they are making, she started protesting against eating in general at one point. It's also about like sexual relationships and how much consent can a person give in a sexual relationship when they are so mentally unwell. The brother-in-law of her husband the brother-in-law has just a weird obsession with her. They end up having sex. And that's the whole middle section. They're painting flowers on each other, recording each other with the flowers while they're fucking. And it's like a very weird, like, it's interesting, but it's not going to be erotic in the sense where it's just straight up a porn novel. It's still very beautifully written, but it feels very weird because it feels like, again, she has no control over her body and what she does and her agency over herself. So anyway, I saw Die Vegetarian, how do you say that? Like on a Bildschirm, like on a poster in Heidelberg of a play of it. Boing! Because when I see a book I just read and they're making it into a play, you better believe I'm going to be there. Do you understand? I got so excited. I took 5 or 6 photos of this poster from different angles to make sure that I had all the information there could be on it. Do you understand? I go online, tap. I look up to see where I can watch this play. Oh, okay, I see it's sold out. It's sold out. Okay. It says you can get last-minute tickets at the box office, but if I do not see this creepy-ass, crazy story, which is so poignant and so a reflection on our society, but also, I didn't get into it really, but it is just a weird book. This book is so weird. And I love that. I love how weird this book is. And so I need to see this. I don't think you understand. I need to see this. I will take my weighted vest and I will whip it around the auditorium until it hits somebody who has a ticket. They knock over, I run over, I dig the ticket out of their unconscious body, and I go up to the box office and I say, I have 1 ticket for Die Vegetarian, bitte. So I better see it. That's all I have to say. And speaking on the creative side of it, I was thinking about this the other day of how much I consume. Like, I consume when I'm taking a shit, when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm washing my face, when I'm obviously watching a movie, watching a TV show, cooking a meal, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm watching a movie, I'm listening to music. It's so much consumption. I do not know how my brain keeps up with that. And it's not. It cannot be healthy. And so things like this, like when I turn my TikTok into a platform of creating instead of consuming, and here are my hands of wisdom coming up now. I'll step off my soapbox. Thank you. But no, seriously, when I started on TikTok, I actually, before I started posting, I was going to delete TikTok. I was done with it. I didn't want to be on it anymore. It was consuming too many hours of my day. I will not say what my screen time was. It will make you gasp and clutch your pearls. But it was way too much time I was spending. I was going to delete it. And then I posted 1 or 2 videos. It got a little traction, and it gave me a little bit of confidence to keep posting. And I just kept posting, and I kept making videos that made sense to me, commenting on German things and whatnot. And it really started to fulfill me a little bit, because all that time I was spending at home just endlessly scrolling, I was like, oh my God, I could talk about this and this and film this. And it's so fun. I love editing. I love filming. I love talking to you guys. Like, this is all such a fun experience for me. So if you can get anything out of that, what I'm trying to say is just like, we need to be creating. That is slowly being taken from us. And that is a freedom, and that is a right that we have. And we should be exercising that every single day. We should be creating something, because your brain, that is also food for your brain. Like, it doesn't matter how healthy you eat and how much work you do and how much you're exercising. If you are not feeding the soul part of your brain, you're not fully conscious. You're not fully living. And I know it sounds silly because I'm talking about literally making TikToks, but that's the word we need to keep in mind. Making. Creating something. That's what's fulfilling. That is active. That is not passive, right? We need to be active in our lives and not passively being taken over by this AI droll. Oh my God, if I wanted flying cars. I just wanted flying cars. I wanted the Jetsons. I wanted to be hovering. I didn't ask for all of this AI taking over everybody's jobs, AI taking writing, AI making music, AI taking away all the creative aspects of everything. I just wanted hovering cars. Is that too much to ask for? And so you need to take that back, because it is being taken away from us. We are in a completely unprecedented period where AI is taking over all of our creative aspects, and that's not what it was designed to do. It was designed for helping with science, for helping with, whatever. Just not taking my creative things away from me. Oh, my headband almost came off. My cute little hat. Pierre doesn't have a hat, by the way, this whole time. He's basically naked. I got you a hat, Pierre, don't worry. We'll figure that out next episode. But I just want to leave on that note, because we can be creative, and it really doesn't matter in what aspect that means to you. If that means sitting in your bedroom and just writing a song for yourself that no one else is going to hear besides you, that's fine. It doesn't have to involve social media at all. Actually, better if not. But we need to be starting to, like, dude, you need to do stuff. And if you don't know what that is, like, you need to sit down and think of some things that really excite you. Don't give a f about what any of that means. Like, for instance, I also do animal activism. That is so controversial for people. They hear that and their shoulders tense up. Like, they get so uncomfortable when I say animal activism. I do not care. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the animals. I'm doing it for me. And so that's what you need. You need to literally take that voice out of your head that anyone is even listening or anyone even cares. It's so freeing and scary to think that no one cares about you to that level, but you need to start thinking that there's nobody judging me. What would I do? If nobody was judging me, what would I do? And then go and do that thing. And actually do it, because once you start, it is so easy to get a roll on. I've been wanting to do a podcast for so long, probably over a year, thinking about it. How can I get the best camera, the best mic setup, the blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Just start on it, And if I have 2 people watching this podcast, that's fine. My mom and me. That's fine for me, because this is a creative outlet, This is basically a therapy session for me, and I hope that this is entertaining and interesting for you. I try to make the topics at least something that I actually care about. All right, so I'm going to leave you guys with a German word, of course. So the word that we're learning this is new to me, I just found this online, to be honest. It's called Krümelspeck, and it's the weight gained from emotional overeating. Krümelspeck. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much me right now as a Kummerspeck. I think Pierre can also relate. He's giving me the eye right now. But if you guys ever want to use that, I think we've all, maybe around Christmas, just, I don't know. We all have that like emotional overeating every now and again. Not everyone, but me. So sometimes I just want to say, Kummerspeck. I don't know how to use it in a sentence. Not at all. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. I hope everybody's good. And I hope everyone's doing well. And I hope you've gotten a nice coffee today. And if not, you should go get one for yourself. Treat yourself and go do something creative. Signing off, guys. See ya.
This has been a Yapping with Mags podcast.